Well, howdy, 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 nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this another brand new day. It is the weekend, and in my lap, on my thigh, I had a seed-filled hamster. Her head is just stuffed with seeds. Look at all those seeds in those cheek pouches. My God, that's a lot of seeds. So she's been gathering and foraging up a storm inside of that cage of hers, and now she just wants to go into her house and put all her seeds in a safe spot. So now that I have showed off my Hamatron, I'm going to put her away so that she can go and take care of her seeds. Thank you. Oh, I banged her head on the arm of the chair. Sorry about that. Well, I banged a cheek pouch. I didn't bang. I bonked a cheek pouch up against the arm of my chair while I was putting her down. I feel bad about that, but I didn't hurt her. I just bonked her. Now, Figmo, he's a nervous little fellow. He's less nervous than he was, literally, with that cage next to me, because I have it lengthwise, right next to me, running that direction, right here. So I've got a hamster here, and then I've got little Gojira down here. So I can reach in and grab him, if he'd let me. What he'll do is he'll dash to the other side, so I can't reach him from where I am right here. And so he's nervous, and he does that when he doesn't want to get picked up, which is like 90% of the time. Figmo is like a fish or a spider pet. You know, you'd have them in a cage, and occasionally you might try to interact with them in some fashion, but largely they're pets that you look at. You don't play with. You interact with them by feeding them or watering them or such. Figmo's just so nervous that he's like that. If I want to treat him like he's an actual hamster, I'm going to give him a heart attack because he's just going to freak out about it. So even though I can pick him up and play with him periodically, largely just for his sake, gotta let him just mostly be. And that's okay, because I gotta look at him all the time. He runs on his wheel, and I just have to turn my head and look down a bit, and I can watch him run on his wheel. So I can interact with him in that fashion, and it's a good thing. Definitely a thumbs up. I mean, sure, I want to touch him. He's small and warm and fuzzy and alive, and that's nice. I mean, people like petting things. We like petting everything. I mean, that's why people get hurt doing stupid stuff all the time. We like to touch things. We like to pet them. And so that's fine. The nice thing about that is, of course, oddly, most creatures out in the world, once you can get past the, they live in the wild, where it's nature is bred in tooth and claw. It's eat or be eaten. Once you can get them out of that situation where they don't have to freak out about that, when you can confound their instinct, so break past that. Most critters out there also enjoy being petted. I mean, even hamsters. My little Gojira and all that, even Figmo, they don't mind being petted. They don't mind being touched. I mean, on the instinctual level, of course, instinct says, get out of there, you're going to die. But if you can break that so that they can actually stop and think as much as a hamster can think, as long as you stay away from their whiskers, they like touch. It's most critters out in the world do. I've seen, videos of big cats, lions, tigers, jaguars, just absolutely demanding pets from the zoo owners and zookeepers and all that. It's just, they love being touched and petted too. It's just out in the wild, eat or be eaten. Nature is horrific. I mean, as pleasant as things may be, it's nightmarish and dangerous out there. I mean, I've developed parasocial relationships with, like, spiders. And a parasocial relationship, they talk about this a lot, especially online now. A parasocial relationship is where you become affectionate for, say, a celebrity. You are affectionate toward them. You like them. They don't even know you exist. But from your side, you know about them, you know what they like to do, that resonates with you, you like them. And so you've got a parasocial relationship with them. And that you know about them and you like them, but that they wouldn't know you if they passed by you on the street. If you were the only person in a room with them, they'd never know who you were. So it's kind of a parasocial relationship with all of these various critters, like, well, spiders and all that. Because, like I said, I've developed parasocial relationships with some of the spiders that I've had, like in my bathroom, where there's been a spider in a web in a corner. And even though I'm arachnophobic, I admire the strange, awesome, and terrible alien beauty of spiders. They are amazing creatures. Just for whatever reason, my brain is wired that I'm afraid of them. But I know it's irrational, so, And it's been sad, because no matter how strong your spider is, there's another one that's stronger. And I have looked at spiders in the corner and gone, gosh, and said, oh, hi, little miss, as I walk in, because 90% of the spiders you can see are female. Male spiders are tiny and very skittish, and they're freaked out by everything. So 90% of the spiders you see are female. But of course, everyone I've ever developed that parasocial relationship with is like the spider up in the corner, where it's like, there they are, come in the next day, and they're in a ball and a different spider is sucking them dry. It's kill or kill, be killed, eat or be eaten. I'm glad that we don't act like the rest of the world out there. Oh, as a minor aside, I saw this one little meme thing that yesterday, and I reposted the thing. It was a picture of, I don't know how to pronounce this, so I'm going to pronounce it the only way I can think of. It's an Australian animal called like the quokka. It's got a marsupial pouch, and it's a herbivore and all that. But it was like the meme was saying, if you feel like you're being a bad mother, remember that the quokka will throw its young at predators to escape. And I bet that's true. The thing is, that makes sense. It really does. And even more, it's like if things are tight and the mother has children and it's tight, it actually makes sense for her to just eat them. You say, why? Well, how could that be good? How could that be good for the quokka to throw the young at the predators so that she can escape as they eat her babies? How can that be a good thing when she eats her own babies? Well, it's because you can spend the effort and the resources to try and keep yourself and your children alive, and maybe you all die. And then there's no more babies for the future. If you're out there trying to find food and you're starving and your babies are starving, it's a lot of resources to feed your babies, and maybe you'll all die. Whereas, if you are of breeding age, you can have more babies. So throw your current babies at the predator and run. You can have more. Eat your children now. You can have more. Because if you don't, everyone dies and the line stops. So yeah, it makes sense. So when you hear those terrible things, it's like, well, out there where it's not civilization, yeah, it makes sense on a resources level. It's horrific and nasty, but what can you do? It's like those, I saw another one about it. There was this crab, giant mother crab. I mean, who knows, mother, father, whatever. But this crab was sitting on a rock, surrounded just by an ocean of tiny baby crabs that had just hatched. Her baby crabs. And she was just standing up there because she was hungry, reaching down with her claws and just nom, 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 nom. Because each of them individually doesn't matter. They may grow up to have babies, but she's having babies right now and can have more eggs. So their individual lives aren't as important as the fact that this crab can have more eggs. So nom, 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 nom. nature is horrific. But that's okay. I mean, it's fine. It's wonderful. It's nice. It's a good thing. Oh, and as another mild thing, I was thinking about this yesterday. I severed my radial nerve here, and I have neck and nerve spinal damage way up high here because I have numb spots like up between my shoulder blades and such. So I've got spinal damage. Other nerve and such damage as well. I mean, it's not just up here, it's down my entire body. But I don't know, it's the nerve connection thing, because one of my commenters, I think it was, I can't even remember, Marilee Kishiro. That one snuck up on me. But with my nerves here, oddly, these ones were vastly controlled by the severed nerves. These ones, I don't know what connects these, because when these came back, these ones were still not. And it took a long time after these were being the claw, that these were really under my control. So I don't know what nerve set controls these fingers, but it's separate from these ones. But while these ones are apparently really controlled by the radial nerve, it must run through the same bundle for these fingers, but under a different section, probably up in here. But it's really weird. These still here don't really work real well. In fact, if I'm picking things up or such, these are my fingers, my strength fingers. These ones are largely just here. They work, they do stuff, they hurt more than these fingers, and they're there, and that's just the muscle sets through here don't feel right for these fingers. These ones do real good. In fact, it feels mostly okay. I can feel them running on this side. These fingers, the muscles run more on this side, and they don't work well, and they hurt more, and the muscles still really do not feel right. So I'm not sure what or where the nerve pathways run, but that's going to be true for the rest of my life. I mean, this part works real good as long as I'm concentrating, because I've mentioned before, I think it was even yesterday, even when I'm concentrating, it's still clumsy. But when I'm not concentrating on it, I drop stuff everywhere with this thing. It's just, I've got good grip strength, I've got good coordination when I'm thinking about it, but when I'm not, the nerve damage it doesn't reach things properly, and that's irritating. And as said, it's like when your thoracic vertebrae, which your ribs come out and then they go to your sternum, but if you're facing that direction, your thoracic vertebrae go like this, and then your neck is supposed to curve back and then up and then go into your spine. But the other direction, you're facing that way, so it curves inward this way, and then it goes up, and it's supposed to connect into the magnum foramen, which is the big hole at the bottom of your skull, which is why it's so dangerous if your brain starts to swell up for any reason. Because if your brain starts to swell up, guess what happens? It starts to squeeze out of the hole in the bottom. That's not exactly something you live through. But with me, unfortunately, my thoracic vertebrae come up, and then my neck comes out like this, just like a crane. And then my head sits out on the end of that. If I want to sit properly, I really, really have to pull my head back so that my ears are between my shoulder blades, and it hurts. It's not comfortable at all. So my head juts forward like a big old thing at the end of a crane, and it's very uncomfortable. My neck always hurts, and it goes crack, crack, because all of the muscles getting stuck. Thumbs up for that. Well, shucks, I didn't really talk about anything intelligent or important today. Hopefully that's a-okay. It being, what, Saturday? Yeah, Saturday, so Hey, thumbs up for that. Anyway, though, I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab, and I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people for having left me a comment. It is a range of 20 to 25 because even though I count American Sign Language, fibro, depression, and more, I just forget stuff. And I can't read the comments right now, especially with my eyes. I got good peripheral vision, but I can't read with this eye up close anymore. And this is my faraway eye, so I can barely read with that. So yay! And of course, if I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. I'm an American English speaker. We're just not good at that. But calling up my Chrome, where I have all this stuff, we have Russian timing. Thumbs up and thank you. And Slide Bonga Plate? Oh, I'm nowhere close, but thank you very, very much. And Matthew Bulger, greatly appreciated. Ifa Pearson, thank you very, very much. And Kathy Kitscat, greatly appreciated. BMB Aaron, thumbs up and thank you. Rini Shiki, thank you very, very much. Alejandro Solis, thumbs up and thank you. Adrian Bryan, well then. And then we have just_me Geo, greatly appreciated. Oh, it's Marilee Kishiro. Thumbs up and thank you very much. And then we also have Nancy Sweeney. Thank you. Greatly appreciated. Timothy McDonald. Greatly appreciated. I will miss you. Almost spells though, but though is spelled incorrectly, unfortunately. Very, very close, but very good. I like the name. Excuse me. And then we have Chris Bach. Greatly appreciated. And we have Sebastian Ferris, thumbs up and thank you. Perfect Tragedy, greatly appreciated. Oh, the bloody horror. Thank you very, very much. Javalia Amalia, I sure hope I'm close. Johnny Cash, thumbs up and thank you. Bridget Smith, greatly appreciated. Tugboat McBoatface, greatly appreciated. Datrion Lewis, thumbs up and thank you much. Let's see if I can find anyone that I haven't thanked yet. There have been very few comments this time. Summit Dingo, greatly appreciated. And I'm so done with you. Greatly appreciated. Each and every one of you. You get me out of my head, into the real world, dealing with actual people. Thumbs up. Thank you very much. It is appreciated. Definitely. Depression sucks. Trust me on that one. If you've ever felt bad or sad, you know what it is to be sad. Just imagine that if you've never been really depressed, times 100 with a weight on your back and just, worse. Depression, thumbs up for that. Anyway, though, if you could check out my various links, I have Twitter, Facebook, GoFundMe, Patreon.com, NearlySeniorCitizen.com. I am so sorry. If you could donate to my GoFundMe campaign or become a Patreon.com patron like one of these beautiful and awesome people, that would be beautiful and awesome. But if you cannot donate or you simply do not donate, I do take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest, so thank you very much. If you could toss me a like, I do appreciate all the positive validation I get for my existence. And of course, if you could subscribe to the channel and hit that bell, otherwise YouTube isn't going to let you know when my videos are coming out. That would be very cool, greatly appreciated. Now, I would understand if you did not want to subscribe. But if you are down with it, I will do my very best to keep you entertained from now until the literal end of time. However, that'll hopefully be a long time from now. Well, 16 years for me. Hopefully at least 16. 72, average lifespan for an American man with access to money and healthcare. Well, shuckle my duckle. Is there anything left that I have to do or say? I've yammered on about this, that, and the other, and that's all. I walked 6 miles to Walmart last night. I did the round trip walkies, and that was good. They finished the construction on the roundabout, and it's open. They put in the second layer of blacktop on most of Olympic Highway North leading to Walmart. It's looking good. They're almost completely done with all of it. Thumbs up. They've taken away a lot of the functionality of the road, but hopefully it's still going to be a good thing. Hopefully. Past that, still working on things to write, coming up with all sorts of weird and goofy stories. All the stuff I come up with now are just stuff that's so I don't know if I can write it. Like a man who's in this one small town where there's a thing that goes flash in the center of town, and in this ring like a mile out that runs right through the center of the urban area, and that thing, every place just goes poof. So there's a ring of just empty ground where all these houses and people and families used to be. And this guy he's opening up the door and he's going, "Hey, champ, hey, Daryl." You know, he's talking to his family, and then his house goes, "Puh." And his family's gone, along with everyone else in town, in that ring. You take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, my friend, and that is a very good thing.